Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Carl Lund and I will be your instructor for ED 3780 Adaptation and Management for the Spring 2022 semester. I am trying to get captions on my recording here that should appear on the bottom of your screen, and you'll notice that sometimes the captions are a little bit off because they are. If you ever have questions about something, you didn't quite get something, please send me an email. This video is going to talk about how the course will work, and I will introduce myself as well in it. This is an online course, but it is not self-paced. We do not have any regular class meetings, but the course is divided into approximately 15 modules, most of which last 1 week. In general, work is due every Monday night throughout the course. That is the deadline for each module. Work that's late is penalized. It is accepted up to 2 weeks late, but it will be penalized 10%. The syllabus talks more about my late work policies. You can't really work ahead in this course too much because of how it's going to run. I normally don't do videos from when I teach online. I find that videos are a way to try to emulate an in-person class online. That usually doesn't work really well. However, I am using them for this course, and here's why. I did not require you to purchase a book about exceptionalities. And part of this course is learning about the exceptionalities that you as teachers will encounter in your classroom. And so because of that, especially during this first part of the course, you're going to hear from me every week talking about the most common exceptionalities you will experience in your classrooms. And I promise you, no matter where you teach, whether it be in a small rural school, whether it be in a suburban school, whether it be on a reservation, whether it be in an urban area or somewhere else, you will have students with exceptionalities. Some of those exceptionalities will be diagnosed and labeled, and some won't be. So our purpose in this class is twofold. And honestly, this class could really easily be 2 separate classes, which is kind of unfortunate. We have a lot to do, and we're only going to get a surface level of things. But that's outside my pay grade. One thing we're going to learn is, again, about these different exceptionalities and how to meet their needs in the classroom, how we can plan instruction through differentiation to meet the needs of students who struggle in school, of students who have needs in terms of their communication abilities or physical abilities, including vision and hearing, as well as how to meet the needs of students who excel in school. No matter what, all children deserve an education. And so we are going to make sure that we learn ways to help try to ensure that all of our students learn. That at the end, not just of the year, but at the end of every week, of every day, of every lesson, that all of our students have learned something new successfully. So that's a big part of the course, and I think that's the most important part. The other part of the course is classroom management and building a classroom environment. I think these 2 things in many ways go together really well. If you meet the needs, the learning needs, and the behavioral needs of your students, you will not have very many classroom management problems. You will have some, because there are things that are beyond your abilities to control. So there's not a magic wand to fix classroom management issues. It depends on the individual student, it depends on the climate and culture of the school, and it depends on the teacher's own personality. But there are things we can do to try to improve classrooms. But I want to say right now, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. I'll introduce myself a little bit in another video, and I'll talk more about that, because I don't want any of these videos to be too long, although I'm sure they will be, because I tend to talk too much, and I'm going to apologize for that in advance. So every week, basically, you will go to Materials in D2L, and you will click on Content. And as we go, you will see more and more weeks being added, week 2, week 3, week 4, and so on. These will remain open throughout the entire course. I don't close them. I don't set opening or ending dates. Each module will have a to-do item in it. And so here's what you need to do for week 1. You need to review the syllabus, which will be found on D2L. You need to view this video, which you're doing. You need to post an introduction to the discussion board. We aren't going to have discussion boards every week because I know students don't like discussion boards, but I do like them a little bit. I try not to go overboard with them, and I try not to make you do too much with them. Basically, the weeks we have discussion boards, we'll have more. They're sort of scattered throughout this semester. But I want you to post your response by Friday. And I want you by the due date, which is usually a Monday, to respond to at least one of your classmates. The discussion board will say in terms of length. Typically, I'm going to ask for your post to be around a paragraph. A paragraph in college is 5 to 8 sentences. Sometimes you might need more, and sometimes I might ask for more. I might ask for 2 paragraphs or something like that. Your response to a classmate should typically be around 3 sentences. It can be longer, but 3 sentences is a good number to try very hard to get. Sentences like "good job" or "I agree" don't count towards that total. I'm going to ask you to view the week 1 presentation. For this first week, the week 1 presentation won't be up until Wednesday or so the first week. They'll normally be up at the start of the week, but I'm behind already. So it's going to take me a couple days to get it done. And then you have 2 required textbooks for the course. The first one is called Case Studies for Inclusion in Education by Keith Story. And it is a book of case studies of students with different special needs and how they interact in schools. The first 22 pages are background. It is talking about special education. That's what I want you to read. Now, if you don't have the book yet, that's okay. You don't need absolute to read it this week. But you need to get the book as soon as possible because we will have quizzes in this class. And there will be quiz questions next week that come from these pages 1 through 22. So this is what you'll typically see, and typically what you'll have each week is you will have some presentation from me. I will both record a video, and I'll also upload the PowerPoint that I'll use, so you can see that as well, or instead of the video if you don't want to listen to me talk, and I completely understand that. There will usually be a discussion board. Not every week, but most weeks there's a discussion board. Most weeks in the first half of the course, there will be a quiz. Your quizzes are usually going to be multiple choice. There's going to be around 10 questions or so for them. There will be an extra credit quiz near the end of the course. So if you do poorly on a quiz, you'll have a chance to make up some of those points. Most weeks in the second half of the course, you will have assignments due. And so let me show you the syllabus schedule really quickly here, so we can still see this. My schedules here is tentative. I've never taught this class at Bemidji State before, and I've never taught classroom management and sort of special ed combined into one class. So it is a new experience for me, and I'm not positive on how the schedule is going to go. So this might change. Be aware of that. Things won't happen earlier, like things that are due here. I won't change the due date earlier, but things might move around a little bit. So in general, again, the first few weeks we're going to have quizzes, we're going to have discussion boards, and then everything in bold is sort of an out-of-class assignment. So the first one of those comes due February 21st, the second one a month later, and then for the second half of class, something is due basically every week. And because of that, I've tried to limit the quizzes and the discussion boards in the second half of class so you aren't overwhelmed. I will put assignment information up a little bit earlier. For most of these, you will have more than a week to do these. So like the lesson plan that's due on March 21st, we will talk about that probably on March 1st, if not before. But I want you to be aware of these dates. So yeah. Brief descriptions of the assignments are also provided in the syllabus. The reason we have these assignments is to meet Minnesota's standards. And a document that talks about what the standards are and what assignments meet them will be up on D2L as well underneath the syllabus if you want to see it. This also talks about my various class policies. Please don't cheat, do your own work. Please be respectful online, including people who have different viewpoints than you. Please try to log in twice a week. Let's see anything else. And then my late work policy, as I mentioned, is here. I will say for an online class, I do have what I call a 24-hour grace period, except in May. And what this means is that if you turn something in late, but it's within 24 hours of the due date, I will not penalize it. Otherwise, I take off 10%. That doesn't apply to stuff in May because there's too much due then. And then once during the semester, you can ask for a 1-week extension for any reason. And I do a 24-hour grace period because I know there can be technology trouble and other stuff. Please don't ask for extra credit. There isn't. I might allow an assignment to be redone if you did not do well on it at all. A redone assignment can't earn a grade higher than a B+. Let me talk quickly about my grading. I went about 2 minutes longer than I wanted to, so I may as well go for 3 minutes longer. My grading scale is here. It's a little bit different than most you've probably seen at BSU because I don't like minuses. And so what I've done is I've reserved minuses for those borderline grade cases. So if you get an 89.5% in my class, I'm not going to round that to an A, probably. You'll get an A minus. But if you get a 90%, that's an A. An 80% is a B, a 70% is a C because I hated classes where like you needed to get a 94 to get an A. Because there's no way to make up for an A minus because an A plus at Bemidji State doesn't count for more than 4.0. That's true for most colleges. It's unfortunate. So you'll see that there. Do I ever round grades? It's really rare because I do use minuses for that sort of borderline case. I might consider rounding a grade if maybe you had a bad start but a really strong finish. If you did really well on stuff at the end of the course. And if along the way everything was turned in on time, you participated really well, things like that. In a case like that, I will bump up a grade. But it would have to be kind of an extraordinary case. And honestly, if you're doing all that, I think you would have probably a bumped up grade anyway. You would be at that next higher grade. So don't count on grades being rounded. They aren't automatically in D2L, and I don't automatically either. I will look at it on a case-by-case basis. So there's the grading scale. If you have questions about anything, please let me know. Please send me an email. Obviously, it's online. Let me talk about my email address a little bit. It is carl.lund@bemidjistate.edu, and I'm pointing that out because I took a class at BSU a couple years ago, so I have a student account. And so when people just type in my name in the email client, occasionally it's gone to my student account instead of me, and then I don't get it. And obviously, I want to answer your email. If you email me during the typical school day, you can expect a response really quickly. If you email me after 3 or 4 o'clock at night, you might not get a response until the next day. I don't check my email at home at night usually, especially at the start of the semester. I will more often in the second half of the semester when my on-campus methods classes, which several of you are in, I know, are doing their field experience. And so when I'm not on campus as much, then I check it at home more often. So don't expect if you email me like at 6 o'clock at night, though, over the next couple months, you probably won't get a response till the next day. I also don't check my email on the weekend because that's Carl's time. So if you have questions, please email me. If you're on campus, obviously, there are my office hours. They will change once the elementary field experience starts because I'll be on campus less. But that's what they're at right now. Notice that I do have evening hours for those of you if you are taking a lot of online courses because you're working today or something. Mondays and Tuesdays, I am available for Zoom meetings. But for those, please email in advance to schedule an appointment so I know to be ready for them. I don't stay on Zoom for drop-ins because when I do that, no one ever drops in and I get bored. So hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know and we'll fix it. I wish you every success this semester. This is a really important class. I'm really happy to teach it because I think it is so vital in today's world. And we'll talk more about that as we go on. So if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, take care, and I'll see you next time.